I'm reading the first section from my essay. It's called Strands of Separation. They knew the rules. Good hair needs oil. I didn't listen. But at 52, my hair is leaving. I decide it's time. I scoop a dollop from the Costco jar of coconut oil, frozen white in Seattle's winter. I rub my palms until glossy. And just before the oil trickles down the gap between my fingers, I massage my head. I feel a sense of dissociation. My fingers aren't mine. My head is someone else's. As anyone who's failed at massaging herself will tell you, you can't give yourself a massage because your brain's circuitry is in work mode with its pleasure signals turned off. But this disquieting moment is more than that. My head rejects my fingers as foreign. Perhaps it still bears the imprints of my ancestors. Pati, or grandmother. Returning at 1 something from my elementary school, hearing rapid-fire thumber at the door meant my grandmother was visiting. A bee, she pollinated our family with news of distant cousins, marriages she attended, food she ate. I dash in, feigning lack of interest in the orange sour candies that she drew from her jute bag, and thrust into my palms while my mother frowned in the background. My almost 5-foot grandmother, with a compass-drawn round face, got away with anything. She knew when to cross boundaries, when to disappear into corners, like she did when my father was around. After washing school off my face, I'd find her in her room, a spillover kitchen during festivals, partitioned by glass doors on both sides. On the left, the quiet and clean dining space where we entertained guests. On the right, the narrow paved backyard, silent now, without the crows cawing for their rice ball, without the clanging of the pots and pans being scrubbed, without the whooshing of the clothes wrung and hung out to dry on their metal clothesline, rusty in some places. Avoided by men, lingered on and loved by the women, this was the kind of room that coaxed relaxation out of you. Come sit. She'd pat the cool mosaic floor with a coconut oil bottle. I'd plonk on the floor, cross-legged, and smile at her imagined smile behind me as she loosened my braids. My grandmother's fingers spoke hair. Her fingertips would ponder, stray, clasped with the right unhurriedness, while my mother's hands graced with a hasty lightness that showed her eyes had never left the kitchen. Look at this forest, she would playfully jab my back with her comb. I'd smile in anticipation. Pouring oil into the well of one outstretched palm, she'd rub her palms together as if anticipating sparks, then run her warm, slick fingers down my scalp. Like synchronized swimmers, the fingers would circle from the crown to the temple before cascading in waves to the hair ends, weaving a lullaby until her voice would crack me awake. Do you know about the time the ghost called me? I knew her stories, but pretended I didn't. She knew that I knew, but she also pretended I didn't. Our secret lay buried in the 20 minutes that sealed us from the outside world. It was just her, me, and the hungry ghosts craving dosas, aerobic ones hanging from the banyan, weaving in her childhood as one girl among 7 elder brothers, and her marriage as a teenager to my grandfather, an archaeologist who never smiled at any of their pictures together. She spun her tales with an effortless ease that I didn't appreciate then. It takes hundreds of readings of the same story from the same book to the same half-asleep baby to realize the value of imagination and creativity. I never understood the aching, where was I? The aching melancholy of some of her stories that I now realize must stem from her loneliness, a widow's loneliness that seeped out at night. But the ghosts kept me still. I was 10 and I believed in ghosts. The ghosts of her dead children that visited in her dreams. The ghosts that called her name and knocked outside her house at midnight. I understand the dissociation now. My hair belongs to them, the women and the ghosts they live with. Thank you.